Although many fans of Stephen King may assume that the infamous Doorstopper it is his longest novel, his biggest book is actually an often overlooked epic fantasy, The Stand. Stephen King has written many books. Over the decades, the prolific author has penned a large number of short story collections, novels, screenplays, TV scripts, non-fiction books, and essays. The writer has produced so much work that Stephen King even invented a pseudonym to release more than one novel a year without saturating the market with his writing. As such, there are inevitably some duds in his back catalogue, but also some truly impressive masterpieces. What makes King's output even more impressive is the length of many of these books. The Stand is Stephen King's longest novel, not it. The 1978 epic fantasy is 28,000 words longer than 1986 Killer Clown Odyssey. Alexander Skarsgård's Randall Flagg stands with his arms outstretched from The Stand 2020. Even though King has penned a lot of novels, this doesn't mean that they are all short, concise reads. On the contrary, King has written some absolute behemoths, like the infamously long, generation-spanning suburban horror masterpiece It. According to the fantasy reviews, its story of a group of teens taking on the monstrous clown Pennywise runs a whopping 444,671 words. That makes for a book that is over 1,000 pages in print, leading many readers to assume the 1986 book must be King's longest novel. After all, its story had to be split into two when a movie adaptation was produced. However, King's 1978 post-apocalyptic epic The Stand is even longer than it, coming in at a staggering 472,376 words. The complete, uncut edition of The Stand is King's longest book ever, and it is easy to see why. Following a disparate group of survivors eking out an existence in a largely abandoned America after a virus dubbed Captain Trips wipes out most of the country's population, The Stand is an ambitious blend of horror, fantasy, sci-fi, and character drama. 2025 is a huge year for fans of Stephen King's The Stand. Doug Liman recently announced an upcoming movie adaptation. Amber Heard's Nadine looks worried in a mirror from The Stand 2020. With over a dozen main characters, The Stand has no shortage of perspectives for King to explore, and the author takes his time telling this massive, meandering story. However, Stephen King's longest book was not quite long enough for some readers and writers. That's why 2025 saw the release of The End of the World as We Know It. Edited by Christopher Golden and Brian Keene, this anthology is full of stories that are set in the world of The Stand. Featuring contributions from S.A. Cosby, Tananarive Dew, Poppy Z. Bright, V. Castro, Premi Mohammed, Usman T. Malik, Catriona Ward, Brian Smith, Paul Tremblay, and many more, the book is a love letter to King's expansive fictional world.